remember how last time, or not last time, but when we first started at the Ibn Ezra's Hakdama, we noticed that there were differences between the version I was using on Al Torah and then your version.
Yes.
So after consulting some people and asking around for what like the best critical edition of the Ibn Ezra is, because I wanted to buy one for like a physical copy, it turns out they said that none is better in print than the Al Torah one, and they said that the standard one in the Torah's Chaim was thought to be the good edition, and then it was later demonstrated to be riddled with errors. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what kind of errors. So
like you said, it's like a comment.
this guy who gives shiur on the Ibn Ezra, I don't know, and so I'm not saying that I know this firsthand, but given what we know about Al Torah, and given the fact that the critical edition that was supposed to be good was a 1976 edition, I am assuming that perhaps new progress has been made. So if we do find a discrepancy, then we're going to err with the with Al Torah, and I'm going to be using the Al Torah thing. I doubt we'll find anything like that drastic, but yeah, freelance is a different issue though, right? Because that's like a translation.
No, right.
Yeah. All right. So what we're going to start off with actually is. Oh, was that?
Sorry.
Was that a phrase from somewhere? Riddle of errors.
There's a different somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's just review the 4 drachim, because today we're going to focus on the Ibn Ezra's correct derech. Okay. So the 4 drachim. First one was what?
Bringing tons of unrelated.
Tons of unrelated stuff, thinking that you're being all smart, but you're really just heaping chachmos onto the Torah, but not really like getting insight into the Torah. Second one.
That's the perimeter of the circle.
That was the perimeter around the circle, right? Second one was
sometimes in the circle, sometimes out.
Yeah. So who was that?
Denying Torah.
Denying Torah, right? So I guess in the halachic areas they're going to be out of luck, and then in the other areas, I guess it's I guess it's like it's they're as good as any shot person maybe. I guess that's going to be up for debate depending on the Ibn Ezra's derech. Third one. That's the one that we spent most of the time on last time.
Oh, the close to the middle?
No, these are the ones who are completely outside of the circle.
Right.
Yeah.
Are they the ones that take it as a mashal?
Yeah, they take everything as a mashal, or they at least. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, there are no, you'd be wrong anyway, because this is in the first Hakdama, this is the third approach. In the second Hakdama, it's the first approach. So never the fourth. They take everything as a mashal, and he said they only got one thing correct though.
One thing correct.
What was the?
Sometimes it could be mashal.
Yeah, when?
The pericardium.
Yeah. Any puzzle that mentions the pericardium is definitely a mashal. Yeah. What were his standards? Or what was his procedure, I guess, for when you find something?
Assume it's literal until it's like absurd.
Right. So assume it's literal unless it goes against the shikol das, right? And then what's the order of operations?
Chazal.
Yes. First, you look at your predecessors, which for him was Chazal, and for us is the Rishonim. See if there's anyone who interprets it like in a way that makes sense. Then
try to minimize the allegoriness of it. Try to make it as literal as possible.
Yeah. And what tool do you use? Or what method you use to take it as literal as possible? I'll give you a hint. He says invented by Adam Harishon.
Taxonomy?
No. Depending on how you define taxonomy, not taxonomy of animals. Diktuk, yeah, right. As you use diktuk to try to read it in a way where you can preserve it as a literal thing, but just not have it be allegorical. And then if you can't find it, so then you give it up. Then you leave it as it is, and even if it's a mitzvah, then you assume that that it has a sod and that you just don't know what it is. Yeah. Okay. Fourth derech, which we kind of did quickly, but there wasn't a lot. We skimmed a lot. I'll give you a hint. It's probably, I won't say the most popular derech now, but certainly in elementary schools and middle schools.
Drash?
Yeah, Drash, right? Is midrash, right? And so I wanted to actually review that derech, but I wanted to look at it through the Shitah Acheres, which we didn't read last time. So that's why I opened it up to there. So in the Shitah Acheres, it's also the fourth one. So let's see here.
This is the one that's in the back of the
That's in the back of the Mikdash Gedolos, yeah. And I don't know what the the riddled with error status is of this one. Okay.
Wait, I'm confused. I thought, didn't the guy yell at you because Mikros Gedolos is only on the Torah?
No, sorry. When I said Mikros Gedolos, I meant the Torah Chaim.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, this is.
I don't know. I don't know if this Shitah Acheres is. Yeah, I don't think this Shitah Acheres is in the Mikros Gedolos. I don't think so. Yeah, I've only seen it in the Torah Chaim.
Is there an actual Mikros Gedolos? Aren't there like 1,000 different publishers of different Mikros?
See, that's why I thought Mikros Gedolos is a genre. I didn't think it's like a,
Right.
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, okay, so you see where it says Haravi'i?
Yeah.
All right, so Haravi'i.
Torah Chaim is not Mikros Gedolos because Torah Chaim is its own thing. It's a separate job.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
He derech salula lekadmonenu, he harushuma b'talmudenu. So this path is the path that was smoothed out. I don't know if it means for our predecessors or like, I know that doesn't make any sense to me. It's smoothed out for, I assume it's like by our predecessors. I don't know, like attributed to, belonging to. Derech salula, that is lekadmonenu maybe. He harushuma b'talmudenu. This is the one that's printed in our Talmud. Kihim b'nekuda b'atma gam saviva. So they are in the middle and around it. Okay, so little wide berth there on the bullseye. Upam yiru shem b'chutz v'asod b'kirba. But sometimes it seems like they're on the outside and the secret is within. Okay, so this is midrash, right? Is that some midrash? I mean, given what we know about the Ibn Ezra, what do you think he means when he says sometimes it is on the point and sometimes it's outside, and sometimes it seems it's outside but it's really a secret.
Sometimes the shot is like on the dot.
Right. Sometimes it's a midrash, but it is highlighting, giving insight into the pshat.
Yeah. And sometimes the like surface level of the drash doesn't make any isn't the pshat.
Right.
And like if you analyze what the midrash is actually saying, you'll find the pshat.
So are you explaining the ones that are outside off the point, or are you explaining the ones that are the?
Yeah, sometimes like they're off, but they look off, but they're actually
okay. So that's right. So that's good. And then what's the middle one about that they are gam saviva? Because that doesn't sound like, I mean, it sounds like a not praise, but I don't think he means it in an insulting way, though. But I think he's going to explain.
Is it like they're using the pshat to express other ideas?
Yeah, they're using they're not intending to hit the middle. They're using the words to express other ideas, right? So this is like the thick garments versus the sheer garments, the silk garments.
How's that in the middle, though? Seems like a...
No, so that is saviva. That's around it.
That's saviva.
Yeah, when he says saviva, I assume he means like that around the middle point, but they're still within the circle.
Right. So meaning, how are they within them?
Because they are giving ideas that are Torah ideas.
Okay.
It's just not identifying what the actual point is saying. Whereas, let's say, for example, the people who are taking things as allegories are like not even interpreting Torah.
Right.
But they could be giving Torah ideas.
The
Just
allegorical people?
Just allegorizing that's
Yeah.
not an allegory.
Could be. I guess maybe the reason why he puts them outside of the circle is that that's not the method that they're using is not,
Aren't they
kosher.
sometimes in, sometimes out?
Not the allegory people. The Tzedukim are sometimes in, sometimes out.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. There's only 4 drachim we've gone to. Come on. Yeah. No, this is why we review. Yeah. Yeah. You got to be a visual person. Yeah. Okay. Kipam yafarshu hakasuv kamishpat al derech pshuto. All right, so sometimes they explain the pasuk literally by way of its pshat. Upam yidrashu bo drash lasod amok o meforash. Or sometimes they'll darshan it with a secret that is either deep or explicit.
Wait, is it still running?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Should I accentuate that more? Hine omer klal b'Torah gam b'divrei hamikra gam b'mish. Nah. Uv'chol mesechtos uv'chol braisos u'mechiltos. Was that the rhyme? If so, that was a little lame. Yeah, okay. Or did you just give up? So I'm going to tell you a general principle in the Torah and also in the Divrei Mikra and the Mishnah. Uv'chol mesechtos, uv'chol braisos, u'mechiltos. Yeah, that's not a good rhyme. Maybe he didn't get a chance to edit this one. She'im matzanu. So this is why I want to read this thing here, not because of the rhyme, but she'im matzanu be'echad haniskarim davar sheyachachish echad mishlosha devarim. If you will find in one of these things something that contradicts one of 3 things. Okay, so he's gonna tell you when you should take something not literally, which I missed out, by the way, because I would have expected him to put this in the allegorical people group, not in the midrash group. But he'll say, I guess he could have put it anywhere like he did last time. One is straight thinking, right? Straight intuition. You ever hear the quote from the Rav about when someone asks him like what the what his source is? I got to get the exact quote. Just 1 second. I'll get back to you on that. Cliffhanger. Yeah. All right. Okay. Anyway, ki echad shikol das haishara, o kasuv machachish acher b'derech svara, o yachachish hakabala hanigmara. He's back to rhyming. Az nachshov l'sakin hakol k'fi yecholtenu b'derech mashal o tosefes os o mila al derech leshonenu. So that's his triplicate division here. Is when do you take a pasuk not literally? Is if it contradicts shikol das haishara, so straight logic, like he said with the pericardium thing, or if there's another pasuk that contradicts it. I don't know what he means, but b'derech svara. I guess he just means like. Yeah, I have no idea what he means there. I would just, you could just say if another pasuk contradicts it, and then the third one is if it's contradicted by received tradition. So then what do? Then you fix it according to your ability, either by way of mashal or adding a letter or a word based on diktuk. Okay. So of Sadi Gaon's 4 reasons to take a pasuk not literally, which one did he omit? Senses. Yeah. Now it's clear he holds that that if it contradicts the senses, then you don't take it literally, because that's what he said last time. He said if it goes against the mind, then it's as if it goes against the senses, and you take it not literally. So maybe it's just he's saying that that's pasha, that you wouldn't take it literally if it goes against the senses here. Yeah. If you cannot correct it to the truth, nomar kizos hachachma mimenu ne'elama. Another not rhyme. Kiyad sichlenu ketzara v'das b'nei doreno chasera. Kind of like rapping, but just poor. If we cannot fix it to the truth, then we say that it is a chachma that's hidden from us, and that the reach of our intellect is short, and the knowledge of the people in our generation is lacking. So we just chalk it up to we don't know what it's saying, but it has chachma. You hear the midrash about the lo davar reiku mikem in where is that? That's in V'zos Bracha. Or Nitzavim, yeah, right. So it says, Ki ha-mitzvah azos asher anochi mitzavach hayom lo niflesi mimcha lo rochoka hi lo b'shmaim hi lemor mila blah blah blah. Is it there? It might be. Let me just look it up here. Because it's ki lo davar reiku mikem ki hu chayechem.
I don't think that's part of that clause.
Yeah, I don't think so. I just went there.
Yeah. There's rochok over there.
Yeah. Okay, so it is in. Waiting for this to show up. Dvarim Lamed Beis. That sounds like Hazinu. Dvarim Lamed Beis. That is Hazinu. Hazinu at the end. Mem Zayin. Yeah, okay, so it's towards the very end of Hazinu. Yeah. Literally, not, do you say for you?
From you.
Yeah, literally from you, right? It's not an empty thing from you. So hold on. Kilo devarehu mikem. Does Rashi bring it down? No. So I think Tor Tamima brings it down here. Kilo devarehu mikem. Yeah. So this is a Yerushalmi Pea. Amar of Mana. Kilo devarehu. It is not an empty thing. The imreku mikemhu. If it is empty, then it's from you.
Let's go on.
Yeah, it is, right? V'lama mipnei she'ein atem yagim b'Torah. Why? Because you didn't toil in Torah. I don't know what the context of that last part is. Yeah, so that's like a thing. What was it?
Meaning you're missing something if you.
Yeah, meaning the deficiency is from you, not from the Torah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we know that principle, but like it's good to have like a memory of all there. But that's what he's saying here is that you assume that there's a chachma here that you're just not getting. All right, yeah. V'adavar shehelanu yihye kesefer munach v'ne'azav, and hadavar shehelanu yihye kesefer munach v'ne'azav. Helanu, I think, is like a matter that wearies us. I assume means it wearies us in this way that we like try to find it out and we can't figure it out. It is like a sefer that is left aside and abandoned. Okay, God forbid that we should say it's false and a lie. Gam lo namin shu kamashma, but we should also not accept it literally. That it's literal. Rather, we should believe in the pasuk that that the knowledge is one that he knows. Okay, I assume that's how you read, who you know. Yesh b'divrei hakamani sodos al derech mashalim v'chidos shelo yavinum kol hashomim uleval hamechkar yihu nodaim. That there are in the words of the predecessors secrets by way of mashal and riddle, and that not all the listeners understand. But someone who researches, then he'll get it. Yeah. Okay. So then he says, okay, I think he gives an example here. That was the part I wanted to get at. I just want to see if there's anything else there that we need to do. Oh, so then he does the thing for the rest of this. If you look at just how long the rest of this is, we're not going to read it. I mean, sorry, I guess he has his derech, but what do you call it? What was I going to say? He gives a primer of diktuk, but I think it's in rhyme.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah, I've never gone through it, but it's like rules of diktuk. But
Why does he do that?
he said, so why does he do that? We'll see now when we do his derech.
Oh.
If you can guess what his derech revolves around. Yeah, it's diktuk. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I figured this was going to happen. All right, Isaac, you know the routine. It's frozen. I'm going to shut down. I'll reclaim the host. Sit tight.
Okay.
Does he know how Isaac
Is
is?
the recording stopped right now?
No, the recording's not stopped. And I can't stop it even if I wanted to. Says not responding. Let's end task. I did figure out though. To talk. All right. All right. Here we go. We got Isaac. You here? I see you.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So now we flip back to the first Hakdama, and we're going to read his derech, which is not very long. Just got to find it here.
Isn't it sick? Is derech in this one also? The Shitah Acheres?
No, but that's. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, I want to read it from the
Okay.
from the first thing. Why is this not? Hold on. Okay, let's go here. All right, so we should be at the Derech HaChamishi. Okay, just find it here.
Sure.
Yeah. HaChamishi. Yeah. Okay. Derech HaChamishi. You got it.
Yeah.
All right. Derech HaChamishi. No.
Shindays?
You got it.
It's on Shindays?
Shin days. Well, I'm on Tess.
No, it's on Yud.
Then why?
Oh, it is
We're
on-
on the
Yeah,
first
no,
Hakdama, not the last.
I'm pretty sure it's on Yud.
Yeah, I got it. It's on good.
Okay. Key to Torah. The learning Torah, you got to be on the right page.
Right, right.
Yeah.
We're definitely on the same page.
Yeah, it's-
All right.
No pun intended? No pun intended.
Oh boy.
Oh,
All right, I'll go. I gotta save my weeping for later. All right. Vaderech HaChamishis, the fifth path, Mosad Perushi Alaha Ashis. I would accuse him of bad grammar here, but
wait.
I can't. Yeah. Mosad, the foundation of my pirush, aleha ashis. I will place upon it. I don't know how to say that. Okay. Vihi hayashara be'enai nochach panei. And if you say Hashem's name, then you got a rhyme. Okay, right? So it is it's straight in my. Oh, so you see a rhyme from here that he held that when you're doing poetry, then you can say Hashem's name. He probably did hold that, right? Because what's the is there a rhyme that has Hashem's name in Kirish Mer Shabbos? Kirish Mer Shabbos he wrote. I don't know. I can't go through the whole song in my head now. Anyway, it is upright in my eyes, anochach b'nei Hashem, and it is in the presence of Hashem. Hashem yimenu levado ira, who alone, he's the only one I fear. V'lo es apani b'Torah. I will not show favoritism in Torah, right? Meaning he's not going to care what anyone else says about him, right? Or if anyone else says that he's wrong, he only cares about Hashem. V'echpos heitev dikduk kol mila b'chol me'odi. I will search very well with for the grammar in every word with all of my might. And afterwards I will explain it as my hand has grasped. And in every word that you will seek, you will find it explained in the first word. Okay? First time it appears. Okay, now, if you're thinking something, then don't think it. No. Oh, you were there. Okay, yeah. No, because have you ever heard anyone say something about that? First word.
It's a aggressive idea.
What's the word? Or what's the idea?
That the first time something comes up in the Torah is the truest form of it.
Yeah, I've heard people say that, right? That's not what he's saying. Yeah. Okay, and I've heard people quote him to try to prove that. Okay.
Tzadok says that.
Say again.
Tzadok Newblin says that.
Okay.
I
never knew a source for it, but yeah. I mean, my main disproof of that, not disproof, but like, just like, what does he do with like literally all the Mefarshim who, when they encounter a word for the first time in the Torah, define it by like quoting from elsewhere, you know, like it's not gonna knock out Kasha, but it's just like, everyone should be referring to the, you know, the first, whatever. But that's not what he's saying. Read it again, okay? Befirush hamila harishona timsa'ena.
I don't know. It sounds like that.
He means in his commentary. Meaning, if you need to find a word, so he says, "Kapirush shamayim timsa'ena b'pasuk rishon." All right. So let's say you're learning Ibn Ezra in Mishlei, right, or in Koheles or whatever, and you want to look for the word shema. You want to see what he says about shamayim. Find the first place in Tanakh where it is, and that's where he'll tell you how it is.
He's not talking about his derech. He's talking about how to read.
He's talking about his pirush. Yeah. So okay, Valzem mishpat kol lashon, and that's for every phrase. Yeah. Okay, so that's just a code there. Yeah, but it's a handy thing to know if you want to know where Ibn Ezra defines something. You just find, look at your concordance. You look at the first place it shows up in Tanakh,
right?
Or I shouldn't say all Tanakh. He's saying in his pirush on Torah. So, and then you'll find it there. Okay. V'lo askir ta'ame anshe hamasoretes. I will not mention the reasons of the Anshe Masoretes. Now here, Anshe Masoretes means like the, I always forget how to say the English, Masoretes.
Yeah, that's right.
The people who did all the ta'amim and the vowelization and stuff. Mm-hmm. So he says, I'm not going to mention their reasons. Lamazo malea v'lamazo nechseres. Right, so why one word is spelled full and one word is spelled deficient. Ki kol ta'amim kedrash hadarashem. Because all of their reasons are like just drush. Okay, have you seen that genre of midrash where they explain and say, for example, like why is Yaakov spelled, in one place?
The dots over it or something.
They would, I think, he would class that there also. In fact, someone just showed me one last night where he says that.
I feel like those are like way more significant. Like when a letter is way smaller or bigger than Torah.
Yeah. So what he's talking about here, I don't know about the size things. Maybe he might say that also.
One of the dots. Like I'm including that with the dots.
Yeah. Well,
like
he's
written in the Torah.
Right. Yeah. It's part of the Masoretes thing, right? But what he's saying is like, let's say like Yaakov is spelled with a vav, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that a thing with Yaakov and Eliyahu Hanavi? Like it says Elia. Yeah, right. Like it says Elia Hanavi at one point because like Yaakov took the vav hostage.
Oh.
Right, like something like that. Yeah. So he says that those are all just drush. Ki akasav pam yichtov hamila malaya mivuara upam yachsar os nelam le'achos derech ksara. So sometimes they write it full, sometimes they write it short. Big deal.
How do you say that?
He's a grammar guy.
I'm saying like it's God's Torah. Like
Yeah.
if he wrote all the letters.
Oh, so that's an interesting thing actually, and I don't know the answer to this. I don't know if he has a different shita on that actually, you know, because he says, hold on, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Like those aren't Misina. The Malay.
Well, because here's the thing: is we gotta go to the wrong one for this.
Which one?
Ahava. Let me.
Oh yeah, doesn't the Gemara say we're not Bakian?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Rambam says that when he brings down the halacha that we're not that we don't know anymore. I just want to see his lashon. I don't want to put words in.
It was a thing, wasn't it?
It was was it?
Says as a whole like science.
Yeah. Ooh. I looked up the word chaser in Hilchos Sefer Torah, and there's like 46 instances. So it's not. What am I looking up then? Yeah. Maleos. No, there's one instance of it, but it's not the one. Chaser.
That's the dingle of miscontrol F.
Yep. Most painful sound in the world. Yeah, I can't find it. Does he use Bucky? No, the Keruv. Ezra? No. Okay, anyway, I don't know what it is. Right. So it could be that what he means is that there is a reality to why the. No, I feel like he would say that outright. I was going to say that he could be saying that there is a reality to why to why God wrote it that way. But by the time it got, we know that we lost the expertise there, and so they are giving like these drushy type reasons. But like we don't even know that there's any basis to that. I feel like if that's what he meant, he would have said it.
Are there chazals who give us like Joshua?
Yeah, there are. Yeah. But check out what he says though. Okay, it gets worse. It says v'achar shidarshu tam l'malem v'tam l'chaserim. So after you darshan the reasons for the malem and the reason for the chaserim, yorunu ech yuchlu lichtov hasofrim. Then you'll see how the sofrim can write. I don't know exactly what he means by that.
So,
was it?
oh man, it's like we just had a Rashi, a Tikkun Sofrim.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was like this. This kind of thing.
Like, well,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to look in a second at the English and see if he gives any footnote insights here about this. Moshe kasav b'lo vav Hashem yimloch. Uma'atik mishle kasav bevav tachas eved ki yimloch. And the person who transcribed mishle, I guess he is of that shita that we read that Shlomo didn't write it, but it was transcribed by someone else. Wrote with a vav kimloch. Okay, now this is the part. V'shanim rabos hein shnehem. Okay, there are many years between. Rach letinokim ta'mehem tuvim heim. Their reasons are only good for babies.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Okay. He's really saying it's baseless. I just want to get the.
Wait, why is he bringing in Mishle? That's
he's saying the word yimloch. He's written Malay and Mishle.
I see.
So he's saying that like he's probably referring to a specific drasha that like someone compared the yimloch and Mishle to the yimloch in Moshe in Shemos. Wrong volume.
He's not saying the vowels are meaningless. He's saying like it's just like they spelled differently because a lot of time passed, so the language changed.
Let me reserve judgment.
Okay.
So I see this.
I understand who like goes after chazal.
Right. It's nuts.
So let's see what he says here. Well, he's not showing fear for this one, and he only fears God.
Right.
Are you saying you fear Chazal more than you fear God? All right, so he says, I will not make mention of the reasons offered by the Masoretes. He quotes Friedlander.
Whoa.
He says, the Friedlander says, the commentators who sought to explain the cause of deviations from the normal orthography. So I will not make mention of the reasons offered by the Masoretes as to why certain words are at times spelled full and at other times defectively, because all their reasons are of a midrashic nature. The fact is that scripture sometimes fully and clearly spells out a word, and other times omits an unpronounced letter for the sake of brevity. Since the Masoretes claim to be able to explain the reasons for full and defective spellings, let them tell us what. Oh, that was a challenge. That's why I didn't read it that way. I was too generous. That's the.
Oh, no.
Hold on. he said he was saying, oh, v'achar shidrshu ta'amim v'tam l'chaserim yorunu eich yuchlu lichtov hasofrim. So let them explain to us the spelling that the scribes should have used in scripture. Okay, fine. Meaning like let them like explain all the cases. Now Moshe left out the vav of Yimloch in Shemos, whereas the editors of Proverbs spelled the word Yimloch with a vav. Okay. However, many years passed between Moshe and the editor of Proverbs. Oh, so footnote here says the point being that one cannot expect consistency over such a long period. Well, you could if like the person who was doing Mishlei had access to like Torah, you know.
No, but right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like that's, I don't know. It seems like less of an issue to say that Mishlei and the Torah are different.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's asserting that Hashem wrote
Right,
Mishlei.
right, yeah. It's a big thing. Yep. So he says it's all those reasons are Drash. Now again, he's not saying though that that there are no reasons for why it's Malay and Chaser. He's just saying that don't think that you can like come up with that.
Like any chazals on that, he'll throw out those chazals.
Well, he'll say that it's Drash, right? I mean,
It's not the
But
real.
I'm saying
reason
like
why.
Drash
say-
is still like,
right. But I mean, I'm sure he'd say that there are ideas to learn from it. But he's saying if you think that that's an explanation for why it is this way, then that's like for babies.
okay.
It's like the thing he said last time about why the Torah starts with bays. Like there are ideas there, but if you think that that's actually a reason why the Torah starts with bays, then like
Okay.
then go back to preschool. Yeah. Okay. Gam befirushim hayisharim ein tzorech letikun sofrim. What is that supposed to mean? Gam befirushim hayisharim ein tzorech letikun sofrim.
Oh, no.
Also in the straight pirushim, there's no need for the tikkun sofrim. He says.
To dig out Rashi.
Oh no.
So the way this translates it is, I would also add that one who correctly interprets the Torah does not need to assume any scribal emendations.
Ooh.
See Ibn Ezra's comment on 1813. I'm just going to look here, 1813.
That was it.
Oh man. You were the shit last night, right?
All right, I'm going to have to look at this later. It's a long one.
What?
I think that was the bus.
Oh, you quoted the
1813?
That's what I said.
Yeah,
yeah?
yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the puzzle from last night.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
You care to fill me in on it, or is it not?
What?
Are you?
Oh, it was a pasuk that like Rashi brings down a medrash that like the pasuk should have been written a different way.
Oh, yeah?
But Tikkun Sofer made it this way.
Uh-huh.
So
Do you remember what word it was on?
Yeah,
it
it
will.
says that Avram was still standing for God,
Yeah.
and it really should have said God was still standing over God.
Huh. Is that this pasuk? 1813 says, "Whom am old."
Oh no, that's
Okay, different one. Whew. Yeah.
Wait, what is that pasuk? 1813.
Probably like this is the one where Hashem was reporting Sarah's words, I think, right,
Uh-huh.
to Avram,
Interesting.
and he changed it to "I am old." Oh, here we go. He says, "There's no need to assume."
That's not a scribal emendation.
Oh no, maybe this is the one you're talking about. Yeah. Sorry, it is on that pasuk, but it looks like there's another. He takes it up more. Yeah. So he says like this. Maybe this is what you're talking about. So this is why it says Aleph Dalet Nun Yud, right?
Right.
Okay. So it says others say that means Lord, and Abraham respectfully requested that God wait until he had attended his guests. There are still others who say that the verses are not in the order of their occurrence. Okay, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Okay, then he says there's no need to assume that the scribes changed the original reading of our verse, but the Lord stood yet before Abraham to but Abraham stood yet before the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed, the verse and Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he had stood before the Lord proves that there was no scribal emendation. For this verse clearly says it was Abraham who stood before the Lord. Yes, I guess he's arguing with that Rashi. I'm not holding in that question or that Rashi there, but
Wow.
yeah. So if is that an example of the thing that like you don't like?
No, it happens. That's fine. I just don't like the way that means he's learning. It would seem that he's learning Rashi, who says this Tikkun Sofer,
Yeah.
that Rashi actually holds that someone edited the Torah,
Right.
Oh yeah.
That's how
Interesting.
which is like,
yeah. Rashi doesn't have to be saying
Yeah.
that, but Ibn Ezra is learning Rashi like
Interesting.
according to the Rambam, Ibn Ezra is learning Rashi to be the Kofar.
Well, the real thing though, right, is that Ibn Ezra, like, holds that stuff was added to the Torah, right?
really?
Yeah. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the big controversial. Yeah, yeah. And yeah. That's one of the controversial points about the Ibn Ezra.
What was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not prepared to give shiur on that right now, but like I can.
Is it the last episode or?
It's more than that. Yeah,
Josh.
it's like
Does Josh Berman-
yeah. I might have seen it there recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see where I first read about it. Yeah, it's like he refers to it in veiled ways. Yeah.
Well, it says like all the like the times where it says like Ad Hayom Hazeh.
Yeah, Ad Hayom Hazeh. Yeah.
What was it?
Like where it says like Ad Hayom Hazeh.
Oh yeah.
Those things he says like I think he says like there's 13 times or something. 16.
Footnote: last edited 2017.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's the user Tikkun Sofer? Yeah. Okay, fine. All right. Now let's go on to some happy news. We get here a commentary of Ibn Ezra on Onkelos. Yes. Okay. So he says Targum Torah Aramis Tirgum Emes.
Yes.
There you go. I like to hear that.
Now we're good.
The translator, the Aramaic translator of the Torah, is a true translator. Uve'er lanu kol ne'lamos, and he clarified for us all hidden things. Yeah, right. Even, the Gemara too. Of im dalak b'makomos. Oh, so this. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, this is a key point here. V'im dalak b'makomos acharei midrashim. If in certain places, I would translate as he was inflamed by the midrashim. I don't know if that's what it means, inflamed by, like dalak. If in certain places, he says he followed the midrashim. Okay, he's not being it literally. Dalak?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
Like by law.
There you go. Yadanu ki yoser mimenu yada hasharashim. We know that he knew the sharashim more than us. Okay, meaning he knew the actual like etymology more than us. Rak chafetz lahosif ta'amim acherim, but he wanted to incorporate other ideas. Ki pshuto yavinuhu afilu habarim, because I don't think it means in general, but in these places, even idiots can understand the pshat. Okay, meaning he says kamo iro in Bereshis Mem Tes Yud Aleph. So I didn't look that up yet. Bereshis Mem Tes Yud Aleph. This is Yaakov. Yeah. Oh, so it says this is in the Brachos to Yehuda. It says, oh yeah. See, I can't translate these things. This is one where Onkelos definitely adds a lot, right? I mean, in the Brachos, right? Usri lagefen iro velas sureka b'ni asono. Kibes bayain levusho uvedam anavim suso. Yeah, translate that. I don't know how to translate that.
Ibn Ezra talking?
Yeah, right. Does sound like him.
Binding unto the vine his foal, and unto the choice vine the coat of his donkey.
Yeah.
He washes in wine his garments, and in the blood of grapes his vesture.
Okay, I don't understand in English either. Yeah. So donkey is iro. Like I think ayin yud resh is like I've seen it vowelized IR in some places, but so maybe this is just poetic. So his donkey, so Onkelos said shlo tirgum keben ason. He does not translate it as donkey, okay, which would be the literal translation. The tirgum he does translate as b'nei benin, grandchildren, okay. The itanu, is that itanu or wait, was that another word in the pasuk? Asono, sorry, asono. The asono. Sha'ar ha'itun. He translates as the gate of itun. What is itun? The gate of strength, like Ason maybe? The gate of the entrance. Yeah, okay. So what he's saying here is, are we looking at the old Orach Yamim?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's saying that if you see Onkelos deviate from, like, so this is a critical methodology thing. If you see Onkelos say that, don't think that he's giving pshat there. Okay, that he is referring to a midrash, but it's because the pshat is obvious, or the translation is obvious. Like iro clearly means his donkey. He's saying. So he translates iro as not ben ason, which would be the literal one, but as b'nei benin. And then asono he translates as shar ha'iton. What does it say there?
Ama yivnu hekle.
Yeah.
That's your ego.
Oh, really? So that's a different Onkelos than the one we have. Is there a footnote here that says that?
What was the other word?
I know why. Wait, the Hechle is a translation of which word?
Like definite Euro perhaps.
Oh, the other one was also no.
Oh, okay. The ones like I spell of the rise the whole funny.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
Okay, weird.
Yeah, all right, fine. All right, so that's Onkelos. That's his praise of Onkelos there. Okay, and then he says, "Bavur hadrash derech hapshat enenu sara ki shivim panim la Torah." And because of the drush, the pshat does not deviate, meaning the drush never replaces the pshat, because there's shivim panim la Torah. I told you that my ongoing theory that shivim panim la Torah is only used about midrash.
No, maybe.
Yeah, if you find a contradiction to that, let me know.
Okay.
Like they only bring it in when they're talking about midrash. Like they'll never bring in, for example, in the Rishonim at least. I don't know what the Achronim, but like in Rishonim, like you'll never say like Abravanel brings machlokas between Rashi and the Ramban on like what the pshat is, and he says shivim panim the Torah. Like I don't think they ever say that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's only used for midrash. Rak b'toros uv mishpatim u'pchukim matanu shnei ta'amim l'psukim. Only in Toros and Mishpatim Mechukim, different types of laws, Matanu Shnei Ta'amim L'Psukim, we'll find two meanings to the Psukim. Vatama Echad Keneged Hamatikim, Shayukun Tzadikim, Nishan Al Mitasam B'li Safek B'Yadayim Chazakim. Oh, so in other words, if you find two interpretations of something in the laws, then you go with the Divrei Hamatikim. Then you go with the transmitters of the tradition, because they were all Tzadikim, and we rely on their truth with strong hands. B'li Safek B'Yadayim Chazakim, without a doubt with strong hands. So we do trust the Chazal when it comes to halachic interpretations, but when it comes to Drash, then you got to go with the pshat. V'chalila chalila mihis arev im hatzedukim. He goes back to the Tzedukim. God forbid that we should mingle with the Tzedukim. Because they claim that the received tradition contradicts the pasuk and the grammar. Rak kadvanenu emes. We'll check out the sophisticated rhymes at the end. Rak kadvanenu emes v'divrehem emes v'Hashem Elokim emes yanchena avdo b'derech emes. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Okay, and that's the end of his Hakdama here. Yeah. Now I was thinking, I knew that this wouldn't be enough to fill the time, so I want to do one more thing. We're not going to go to 8:30, I don't think. But one more thing, which is another a gem in pshat, okay, or in how to interpret pshat. So this is the Mahari Kara on Shmuel. Okay, so you want to hear what I said? If you want to get a Sefer Shmuel Mikros Gedolos, you can. Yeah. I think he's in all of the Mikros Gedolos, the standard ones.
Well, Mikros Gedolos is a genre. So. I mean, I always thought the same.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's an official lineup. Yeah, he's in here. Parish head.
Yeah.
Where does the name Ibn Ezra come from? Like, why is it spelled that way?
Oh, it's Ibn.
I know, but like, how did it get?
Ibn is just Arabic for.
I'm saying I know, but like,
Why is it Evan?
it's like Evan with an aleph.
Where is it?
I think it's
Like,
just.
I feel like it should be Ben Ezra.
But the Arabic, when you write it in Hebrew letters, is Ibn. Yeah. It's Shmuel Aleph.
Oh, even with an olive.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it's Aleph Yud Zayin in the Mahari Kara.
Olive design.
Yeah. And we could go through the actual context here, but I don't think we're going to need it because I'm just going to bring out one methodology point here. So the context in the pasuk is, it says Vayan. This is Eli and Chana, right? We were here on Monday. Vayan Eli v'yomer lechi l'shalom v'lokei Yisrael yitin es sheila seich asher sha'alat mi'imo. So plain pshat is Eli answered and said, "Go in peace, and the God of Israel will." How do you translate yitin es sheila seich?
Give your request.
Yeah, give your request, right? Grant your request. Asher sha'alta mi'imo, that you asked from him. Okay, so he says, no luck.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
You don't have it?
No, I don't think it's there.
Yours isn't the same edition as the one Joe's using?
It might be.
Huh, weird. You have it though, right?
It's a very thin line.
What? No,
Wait,
no,
hold on.
From Sora.
All right, because I have a thin line in the same exact
Oh,
spot.
that's weird.
Mahari Kara.
Oh, fine.
Oh.
So
I have.
All right, I did not. All good.
it's in the pink ones, isn't
It's on
it?
the next page.
I thought it's in the pink ones.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, if you want to use your phone, it's on all Torah. I don't know where you were looking on your phone.
Yeah, it's on it.
It is on the next one.
Oh, good.
I have it on your cuss. It's not your time.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay, fine.
That's strange.
I also have on these cuss.
Oh, okay. Is it just not on your cuss? On your time?
Mine's on Yud Zayin,
Oh.
but whatever.
Huh.
Start with Vayan Eli Vayomer Lechila Shalom V'Elokei
I have
Yisrael
the
Yitin Hashem L'Seif.
puzzle.
All right, fine.
I don't have the Mahari Kara on that puzzle.
Does his what my first words for him are Kamo She'ela Seich?
No.
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 What? What gives?
Funny though how you
Yeah, I think it's
Well,
just
how you
a
love
printing error. Wait.
Kasi, yeah. What?
I think it's a printing error.
it's on that page.
Missing a page.
I
think there's- Yeah, I have it on every other page. That's crazy.
It could be he's just they don't. Yeah. I mean I don't have him on that puzzle either. I'm starting on the cuss.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Wow.
It is all the time.
Yeah. All right, fine. I'll just read
I'll
it.
throw me a shot on that puzzle.
Weird. All right. Anyway, okay. So he's so I'm not going to read a lot of it. I'm just going to get to the point here. Okay. Yeah. All right. So here's what he says. Ach dalacha. So you should know. Kishenichtava hanevua, when the nevuah was written, and I'm going to assume he's talking about this nevuah here, but I'm going to assume he also means Chumash, and you'll see why. Shlema nichtava im pisrona v'chol hatzorach v'chol hatzorach. So it was written complete with its interpretation. V'chol hatzorach, anything that you need. Shelo yikashlu ba doros habayim, so that future generations will not stumble. Umimakomo ein chaser klum, and there's nothing lacking from it. V'ein tzarich lahavi raya mimakom acher, and you don't need to bring a proof from anywhere else. V'lo midrash, and you don't need to bring midrash. Ki Torah tmima nasna tmima nichtava v'lo techsar kol ba. The Torah was given complete and written complete, and is not lacking anything. Midrash chachamenu k'dei lahagdil Torah v'yadir, and the midrash of the chachamim is to make Torah great and glorious. So that's not the entire thing yet. Yeah.
Why does he say this here?
So I was going to read the context, but it's too long. Is he's trying to explain what yitain means here,
Okay.
and then he brings a midrash, and he rejects it because he says the midrash is such that you would like it would be like an ikar chasam in a sefer thing that you know if you need the midrash to explain this, then that means you're not understanding something. So this is his premise that everything you need is in the text itself, and you shouldn't have to make recourse to anything outside of the text in order to understand the text. Okay, and here's what he says. Then he goes on a zinger, not quite as Ibn Ezra style of zinger. I love quoting this at Rabbi Zimmer, by the way. Okay, this is okay. Anyone who doesn't know the pshat, v'note lo achar midrasho shel davar, and goes after the midrash. Dome lazeh sheshatfehu shetfasuhu shibolis anar. So he's like someone who's swept away with floodwaters. Okay. And the waters are like rushing over his head. He's grabbing onto whatever he can to save himself. Ilu sam liba el davar Hashem, if he were to apply himself to the davar Hashem, hayachokir achar pesher davar upshuto, he would have investigated after the interpretation of the thing and its pshat. Umotel akayim masha amar im tavakshena kakesaf uchamat monim tach b'sena. Quotes Mishle, az tavin yirshem das alokim timsa. That if you search for it like silver and like hidden treasures, do you look for it? Then you will understand Yiras Hashem and you'll find the knowledge of God. Kumabukan, like here, and then he explains the pasuk here. So this is another. So we did the Ibn Ezra's definition of pshat, which you remember how we defined this a couple of weeks ago. What the definition of the pshat is?
Anything that's intended.
Yeah, the intended meaning, right? So this is another. Like if you look at like the spectrum of like pshat mefarshim and like midrash mefarshim. So there, I would put this further along the line in the pshat direction. Is not only is he saying it's what the author intended. But what is he defining pshat as? Like even more than that?
Shoot, that's on mikro almost.
That's just using a synonym, isn't it?
Meaning it has to be completely in the text.
Yeah, it has to be completely self-contained, right? Is that you can't make recourse to anything outside of the text. And this you'll find is definitely a divergent thing among Mefarshim, that how much are you willing to bring stuff from outside of the text into the text? And he's even including Midrash in that. Like there are people, let's say like Rashi and the Ramban, who will go outside of the text, but they'll only go outside for Midrash. And then there are those like in his first derech who will go to Chachmos Hitzonos, or like, for example, like there's a thing that Ibn Ezra criticizes, the whole Isha Kushis episode, right? So with Moshe or with Miriam and Aaron. So the standard interpretation is Isha Kushis is Tzipporah, right? The other theories?
Oh yeah, he married a Cushite woman.
Yeah.
Went out to war or something.
Okay, yeah. So do you know where they get that's some say it's just like a random like Cushite woman, or not random, but but then have you ever heard the princess from like Ethiopia, the Ethiopian princess?
No.
So the Rashbam, who's a pshat guy, quotes this thing called the Divrei Hayamim Shel Moshe, okay, which is I think some believe that it was a historical, like Chronicles of Moshe. Others believed the term I use for it is like Torah fan fiction. Kind of like pseudo midrashic type things, but about Moshe's life. So the Rashbam, who's really a pshat guy, like actually gives that interpretation and says that it was, and quotes that as a source. But Mahari Kara would say like, no. Like if you're telling me that you need to like have access to this other information about Moshe's life or from another book or from outside in order to explain the Isha Kushis, then like you got something wrong. He's saying it has to be completely self-contained. Or let's say like the Rambam, like I don't know if he's only talking about for pshat, but how like many times the Rambam will explain chukim in reference to practices of Ovdei Avodah Zarah that were around at the time. I don't know if he'd be open to that idea beyond pshat, but certainly in the pshat, then he would not be open to that idea. Like that you would need other stuff to understand it. Yeah.
Yeah. Why is it crazy that the Torah would be like, talking to an audience that has knowledge outside of the Torah, knowledge of other things outside of the Torah? Yeah.
So it sounds like what he's saying is that it's not that would be crazy, but to say that the Torah would depend on that in all generations to be understood, right? When he says like the Torah is Tamima Nasna Tamima Nichtava Velo Texar Kolba, sounds like he's saying that you can't say that there's going to be something like necessary in Torah. Like let's say the generation that God gave the Torah to, they had certain knowledge. So that's what like these historical interpretations say. And Ralbag is fine saying that, Ram is fine saying that. But now you're going to say that like if we get to a generation where we don't have that knowledge, because we didn't grow up in that world or whatever, so now we can't access certain parts of Torah.
Or let's say like a word that we just don't know what it means. Like he says,
right.
That's impossible.
That's a good question. Yeah, a good question is how far he would stretch this, right? I guess that's a good question, right? Because
wouldn't that be the same thing?
Maybe he wouldn't even classify that in the same thing, because maybe he would say that that losing knowledge of the language is a reality, but that wouldn't indicate a deficiency in the text.
Well, I forget a word, but if you don't know the Hebrew language at all.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Right. Well, listen. I'm saying I don't understand. Isn't that like that is knowledge that you have to have coming to the text? Right. Yeah.
But I think he might argue though that is like an intrinsic part of the text.
Right.
Like let me think if I could put it in clearer terms here. Oh man, it's gonna be a miserable walk home.
Thank you for coming here.
Oh yeah, my pleasure.
Do you have an umbrella?
I have an umbrella. Yeah.
Cool. Great question.
Yeah. Can we
it's not a
formulate this?
deficiency in the text; it's a deficiency in you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't.
But it would be
all the necessary
you could say the
information
same
to understand the
Kushi.
text is in the text.
Yeah.
Right. We can't say the same thing about the Kushi. Like they at that time they knew about the Kushim, so the fact that we don't know about it.
Right. No, it's like this. There's a difference between let's say like I give you an instruction manual for a device that you just bought. So if I say like if you're just sitting there struggling to figure it out, and I say, oh yeah, you needed like you also got to go check a book out of the library. in order to understand the instruction manual. So then that's like a deficiency in the instruction manual. But if you don't know the language it's written in, that's not a deficiency in the instruction manual. That's a deficiency in your knowledge of the language.
Yeah.
That's like what it reminds me of is like when when we were doing the Hakdamas and the Rambam or the letters, and he says that people who think that you need the Gemara to explain to understand the Mishnah Torah, and the Ram's response to that is, if I only wrote Mishnah Torah, if I wrote Mishnah Torah that you need the Gemara to understand, then I wouldn't have written the Mishnah Torah. Like the whole idea is it's a standalone compendium.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a deficiency in the text versus deficiency in the language. Like no, it'd be like this. Here's an extreme example. If I take the Torah and I go to a 1-year-old, can you understand it? No, Torah is imperfect. Like no, the guy doesn't understand the language. So we're just big babies when it comes to knowledge of Hebrew.
Well, can you say like? can you say the same about you're lacking knowledge, like certain knowledge about how like certain words, and you're also lacking certain knowledge about what happened in motion. Like, isn't that just also?
But what would you need in order to, if someone understood the Hebrew language perfectly, then that person could get all he's saying that person could get all that they needed out of Torah.
Right.
But if a person understood the Hebrew language perfectly, that would not help him with the Tzipora thing.
Yeah.
So the Torah is complete. Everything is in the words. See, that's why I put it in terms of the spectrum. This is in line with Ibn Ezra's definition of pshat. It's just more machmir, because Ibn Ezra is saying pshat is what's the intended meaning that's in the words, and he's saying in the words and only in the words.
Right. I hear the distinction he's making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can get it clear, I'll think of it. To me, it makes sense, but I gotta see if I could get it sharper. Yeah. So I just want to show you that because this is another thing where when you're learning different mafarshim, like they do have different amounts that they assume. Like Malbim is another one where I think he'll get everything from the text, I'm trying to think other Ralbag will very much not do that. He'll assume ancient things, he'll assume Aristotelian concepts, he'll assume a bunch of stuff like that. And so it's just a nice like spectrum to have in your mind in terms of like how much do you hold that the Torah is self-contained and how much do you have to make recourse to other stuff.
Yeah, I mean this might be silly, and obviously like I don't know, like when it says like a day, like it says like, oh, Avram was walking for 3 days.
Yeah.
Like you have to come into the text knowing that a day is 24 hours, or like you have no idea what's flying.
Right.
So like what the word means. It means like a certain unit of time.
Right.
But,
yeah. So the question is, how would he differentiate between that and outside information?
Right.
Right. I mean, just descriptively though, that is what he'd say. He'd say, if I gave you the Torah and a dictionary of the language, then that's all you need.
Oh, I hear you. Right. You can just. Yeah.
But if you need Wikipedia, then that means that the Torah is lacking. Yeah.
No, Wikipedia is an unreliable source anyway. So.
Yeah. Alrighty. So let's stop here. All right. That's good for Ibn Ezra for now. I was thinking next time, unless there are any requests, I would like